What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing very well. We're going to talk about Fury Warrior 10.2, tier set bonus, all the interactions, and the tier set bonus for Fury Warrior has had some controversy right out of the gates because it primarily focuses on Bloodthirst, and people, for some reason, don't really like pressing Bloodthirst. So if you're really not a fan of Bloodthirst being a part of your tier set bonus, then maybe you take a break from Fury Warrior for 4 months. But honestly, I think this set is pretty good. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you on the dummies in a second. But I think it's interesting that there's sort of this controversy around it. People think it's kind of boring, and I do think that I agree. Overall, this tier set bonus is probably strong but boring. If you want the TLDR, I think it's powerful but boring. So the question really remains is, how powerful is it? Is it going to be good enough for you to take into your Mythic Plus, into your raid? And I think the overwhelming answer to that is probably yes, but let's take a look at it and look at some of the details here. Odin's Fury deals 50% increased damage, causes your next 3 Bloodthirst to deal 150% increased damage and have 100% increased critical strike chance against its primary target. Bloodthirst critical strikes reduce the cooldown of Odin's Fury. So very simple. And I think that what you're going to end up doing for both of your talent trees here is a couple of little interesting things. You're going to invest a lot into the Bloodthirst talents, of course. Things like improved Bloodthirst, things like Vicious Contempt. Blood Craze is unfortunately not that good because it only buffs the critical strike chance of your next Bloodthirst, which is fine. It's not terrible, but I don't think it's worth a talent point. I haven't seen anybody sort of messing around with this yet. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. I don't think this is the best choice for this because you're getting the extra crit from the tier set bonus itself, and then you could probably invest a little bit into crit on your gear, and I think you've probably covered the crit. Now, you do want your Bloodthirst to be critting because that will proc Cold Steel Hot Blood. Bloodthirst critical strikes generate 4 additional range and inflict a gushing wound that will also heal you, by the way. I also think you could also take Elysian Might, which is going to give you the 25% critical strike damage while you stand within the Spirit Bastion radius, and it's going to increase your damage, essentially, by doing that. I also think you could take Spirit Bastion rather than taking Thunderous Roar. It's really a toss-up. They both do almost the exact same damage in terms of the upfront damage and then damage over time. But Thunderous Words can increase the duration of Thunderous Roar and make the bleed effects, all your bleed effects, stronger, which is going to increase the damage of Cold Steel Hot Blood. It's also going to increase the damage of Odin's Fury. So I think it's up to you. Do you want the critical strike damage or do you want the bleed damage? We're going to take Thunderous Roar for now, but I would love to hear you guys sound off in the comments. Do you think there's maybe room for Spirit Bastion to come in here and to be a button that you now press because of that extra critical strike damage, or am I just sparking up the wrong tree there? Titan's Torment you're going to take because it activating Avatar gives you Odin's Fury, and then everything, you know, Odin's Fury is in this tier set bonus. It's giving us 50% more damage to Odin's Fury, so when you're pressing it as much as you can. So you basically want to press Odin's Fury. It's going to give you those 3 Bloodthirst getting extra crits, and then you want to proc Odin's Fury as well from Titan's Torment. It'll give you 3 additional procs of the Bloodthirst as well. In AoE, your rotation is quite simple, and that is what I think most people are mad about. Oh, shoot, my turnip's not going to be up. The damage is going to be a little bit lower here. I apologize for that. Actually, maybe just go to Valdrakken and do it there. Nah, it's fine. I'm just going to do it here. What was I just saying? Something. I don't remember. The proc on your, I don't even know what I was talking about. AoE damage. You're going to be, it's very simple, the rotation. I'm back. I got it. The rotation is basically just going to be Whirlwind into Rampage Bloodthirst. And then you're going to supplement that with your other big buttons, of course. Make sure you weave in your Thunderous Roar. I would wait till you're enraged before you do that, of course. Make sure you press Odin's Fury and then press your Avatar to trigger Odin's Fury. Don't do those back to back or you're going to waste the 3 procs that you're getting on Bloodthirst. So, yeah, but when it comes to your regular like rotation and AoE, it's literally just Whirlwind and then it's like Rampage Bloodthirst. That's what you're rotating between. You're never going to be pressing Raging Blow, which is why we take Annihilator, and you're very rarely going to be pressing Execute. So let's just see how this kind of works. I'll show you in a second here. I do have a good AoE test on 5 targets. I believe it was higher than, maybe it was the 216. Let me just look here really quickly. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, okay. So we also did a single target test, but here's the AoE test right here. It ended up being actually higher than 216, but this is what it's going to end up looking like. Bloodbath / Bloodthirst, Rampage, Whirlwind. That's what it's going to be. That's your damage right there, okay? Now, let's give this a good whirl and see what happens. Unfortunately, I don't know my turnip, so we're not going to get 5 target cleaves, so just keep that in mind. This is not about the damage. The damage will scale with the more targets that you get. Just keep that in mind. It's really more about how does this function, and are you going to enjoy playing this with the way that it functions, okay? So we're going to proc Avatar, we're going to do a Whirlwind, and we're going to go, and Bloodbath, and then our thing, and then we're going to spin, we're going to enrage, then we do Thunderous Roar into another Odin's Fury, Bloodbath. You can see the rotation of Whirlwind, Rampage, Bloodbath, Rampage, Whirlwind, Bloodbath, Rampage, Bloodbath. You're just going between those 3 buttons, essentially. Now, we did run out of steam for a second there. I'm going to slam just to keep things rolling. Slam is a generator now, because of the talent right above Annihilator. We got Odin's Fury back. Let's go there. There we go. So Slam, if you do run into trouble, you can always press Slam to get you a little bit more rage if you're ever running low. But generally speaking, you're just going to be pressing Rampage and Bloodbath. That is really what it's going to be all about. It's going to be about optimizing, I would say, your Bloodbath procs. Make sure that you're getting both of those Bloodbath procs. Remember that when you press Rampage, you're going to get those next 2 Bloodthirsts turn into Bloodbath. So you want to make sure you're always pressing both of those. And then you want to make sure you're optimizing Odin's Fury uptime. Don't let that thing go on cooldown at all. And it's very simple. You're never pressing Raging Blow. I'm basically never pressing Execute. There's so little opportunity for me to press it. Right now is a chance where I might press Slam, but I got a Rampage back. So I'm just going to go into Rampage. There we go. There's a Slam. There we go. That's the only real time I've ever had to press it. And we're getting back into our Recklessness window. So here we go. We're going to spin into Recklessness and Avatar, and we go. That's it. That's the build. It's very simple. Nothing really to it, honestly. I'm messing it up right here. I'm not doing my Whirlwind. There's Whirlwind. There we go. Spin, spin, spin. Here we go. One more Bloodbath, then a Rampage, and that's it. That's the entire build right there, guys. So it's, again, the damage will go up with more targets. That's only 4 target cleave. Just keep that in mind, okay? But there's your Odin's Fury damage. We're buffing the bleed from Odin's Fury with our Thunderous Roar down here. 15% more there, and then an additional 20% more there with Gushing Wound. Gushing Wound is also getting buffed because it's another bleed, so I think Thunderous Words gets a lot of value. I would still be interested to know what you guys think about Spear of Bastion down below. Please let me know. We'd love to hear from you there. But there, Gushing Wound, Odin's Fury, and then there's all the bleed stuff going on down there as well. So your primary damage is just going to be Rampage and Bloodbath because that's what you're pressing. You're just pressing those 2 buttons over and over and over again. Again, that's the potential drawback that some people see with this tier set bonus is, hey, I don't want to press 2 buttons for the rest of my life. You might end up sort of doing that in the next season. You might have to press Bloodbath and Rampage more than you might otherwise want to. But the flip side of that coin is that they're doing damage. They're delivering. So, like, does it really matter? I've had this is almost a 200k crit on Bloodbath here. So that's like crazy, right? It's doing a lot of damage. And I think that is the flip side of that coin is like, is it a little bit boring? Maybe. Is it doing a tremendous amount of damage? It's doing damage. I don't know if it's a tremendous amount, but it's hitting pretty hard, boys. It's hitting pretty hard. Let's look at the single target setup. This is just something I cooked up really quick. I don't know if these talents are 100% correct, but let's get rid of Spear. We'll do Thunderous Roar. I was testing out Spear. The changes that you're making is you're dropping things like Seismic Reverberation. You're investing more into Slam with Crushing Force. You're dropping the Whirlwind talents over here, and I'm investing more into Bloodthirst with Blood Craze and Fresh Meat. There are probably better talents to take. I don't know what they actually are. They might be better to go into Execute. It's been my experience so far that I don't press Execute a whole lot, even in single target. You're going to see right here. So let's just charge in. Let me get behind this guy. And we'll charge in, and I'll show you what this is kind of like. Again, we're going to charge with Recklessness and Avatar. And then we're going to do this. Every time you press Rampage, you need to press Bloodbath twice. That's the deal, okay? There's my second Odin's Fury. Press Bloodbath twice. Every single time. Bloodbath, Bloodbath. You can see our damage here is fine. I think it's fine. It's going to start dropping off a little bit, but this is without Lust. It's without any external buffs. It's without an Augvoker giving you Ebon Might or Prescience. It's without any of that stuff, right? It's just sort of naked. Naked and afraid. So, yeah. You're going to fill with Slam. And then you're going to get that Odin's Fury. Here we go. You're going to be doing Rampage into Bloodthirst every single time. You're hoping that your Rampage will proc a Recklessness for you. It hasn't procced yet. We'll fill with 1 Execute right there. If you ever do get an Execute proc, certainly you can use it. But you're trying to prioritize that Bloodthirst because Bloodthirst will reduce the cooldown of Odin's Fury, and that's a really big deal, right? Again, I have to crit in order for it to happen, but when it does happen, it is noticeable. There's a huge crit from Bloodbath right there. I do think investing into crit is a decent option for this build. There, we finally got a proc on Rampage. Jeepers. Or Recklessness, sorry. I think investing into crit is a decent option here for Fury Warrior. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would you ever take crit on this build? Is it like haste plus crit? Are those the stats you're kind of looking for? Because I'm not actually sure. But I think, given the fact that crit is giving my cooldown reduction on Odin's Fury now, and it's inflicting that gushing wound, it feels to me like crit is king. Crit is like a really good idea, I feel like. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but that's kind of what it feels like to me, looking at the my napkin math here, okay? That's the build right there. You're just doing Rampage into Bloodthirst into Rampage. That's it. And you're basically doing the same thing on AoE as well. It really doesn't change that much. Again, the numbers are subject to tuning and subject to Zuko knowing how to play Fury Warrior as good as you do, which is definitely not true. So just remember, the numbers can go up, the damage can change. Don't judge this just on that. It's a really poor judgment. Don't do that. But here's the single target damage here. Bloodbath, huge, right? Because we're pressing it so much. And again, we're incentivized to press it so much. Why? Because we're getting the gushing wound bleed and we're getting the cooldown reduction on Odin's Fury from our tier set bonus. So that's Fury in a nutshell. I would say my conclusion is that it is strong, but maybe boring. And I think that there are some tier set bonuses this season coming up that all share that similar sentiment. It's like the fire mage one. It's like very strong, but very boring. It just does more of the same of what I'm doing already. This modifies your build slightly. If you weren't taking Gushing Wound before, maybe you'll take it. If you weren't taking Vicious Contempt before, you're probably going to take it. You know, there's a little bit of emphasis on Odin's Fury, which is kind of cool, but it's not so far out of the realm of what Fury Warrior was already doing. It's not that crazy, but I think it's strong. Okay, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would really love to hear from you guys. Anything at all you can think to talk about, anything I might have missed, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.